Hello and welcome to this video today, which is a basic Facebook training on how to use your Facebook for your business and to advertise with real estate. If you ever have any questions about Facebook, you can always go to facebookblueprint.com. Just want to throw that out there right away. And this is me. I am Michael C. with Michael C. Marketing. I'm a drummer, husband, and father. My wife is Shyla Consolo, and she works for the Real Estate Commission. And this video is not endorsed by the Commission, and there's no benefit or advantage to me making this video because of her position with the state. Moving on here, that's me and her. And then of course there's us and Emmitt Smith. I'm also a football fan, and you might see that picture again later. So let's go ahead and get started here with this Facebook training. So we're going to go ahead and get started here, and I'm going to assume you don't already have the app. If you do, great. If not, we're going to go to your app store, whether you have an iPhone or even if you have an Android, and you're going to search Facebook. I'm going to get the regular app first. And the reason I say regular app is because there are a couple. There's a Messenger app and a Business Suite app. Now I already have the Facebook app, so right where it says open, it's just going to open. It's not going to download. Yours would say download. So let's go ahead and search the Facebook Business Suite also, because you're going to want that as well. The Business Suite app is going to help you look at analytics quickly and post for your business. I like to keep it separate. I use this for my business and my personal app for personal Facebook use. Now, I'm not going to show you how to create a personal account. That's pretty self-explanatory. As you go through the steps, it'll ask for an email and you'll have to give yourself a profile picture. I'll show you how to do the business side, and I'll show you how your basic Facebook app can help. On the bottom right-hand side, there's a hamburger icon, and as you click that, you have options here for groups, marketplace, and other things like that, as well as your pages. If you don't have any pages, it'll have, just a create area, sounding like this up at the top. When we hit create page, this is going to really guide you through step by step. It's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. It explains to you everything as you go. The first thing it's going to ask us is what category describes our page. I'm going to put real estate. I know there can be brokers and agents, and I understand that there are differences. For me, we're just going to do, act like I'm a real estate agent and go with that for now. Now, obviously, I don't have a real estate business, so I'm just going to make up a name here. You want to use your actual name, and you want to be careful about the spelling and grammar because it's not often you get to change your name in Facebook. They'll give you one or two, but they're pretty strict about it. So I'm just going to say Michael C. Real Estate here. And we're going to move on to the next step. So the next part is we need to enter an address. I don't have an actual address, but you of course probably do. So make sure you make that accurate as well. That'll help with the SEO optimization across Google and other things as people try to find your business. So you may have noticed I've been doing all of this on my phone. Most people do just about everything on their phone, so I find it pretty easy to use. And all your photos are typically on your phone. So this is going to ask for some photos, and you don't have to worry about finding them on your desktop or transferring them. Just use a nice landscape photo, maybe of your business or you and your family as a cover photo. And then for your profile, just find a nice picture of yourself. And just a helpful reminder as we move forward here, you can always go to facebookblueprint.com if I'm going too fast or you have any questions or anything that I'm not covering here today. You can also track me down at michaelcmarketing.com or find me at Michael C. Marketing on Facebook or Instagram. Now we'll continue with the normal Facebook app. I'll show you the business app later. So go down to the bottom right-hand corner with the three lines, the hamburger icon, hit your pages, and then find your business page. Should be easier than mine. You shouldn't have a huge list. At the top, we'll go to Overview next. There's a bunch of little options here. This one lets you create a post and invite your friends. I highly recommend that. So we go to Resources and Tools at the top. You'll see that this just gives you some other business resources. Maybe help people find you online, create a new button, or even get some updated information on COVID-19. As we continue looking at options at the top, you see there's a section for ads, which we'll talk about later, notifications in your news feed, but last, the More section, which lets you actually look at insights, create events, manage jobs, do offers. You can even look at your reviews and respond to things like that. All right, so let's go back to our business page and fill in some photos. I'm going to click that M and go to my camera roll and upload a new profile picture. I'm going to choose a picture of my wife and I here that I showed you earlier. That'll be easy. You can also do a business logo, of course. Doesn't have to be a picture. Then you can touch and drag with your fingers to readjust the size. We also want to edit that cover area by clicking that little pencil that says Edit. You can see my profile picture just reloaded. Same process here. We just want to pick a nice photo that makes sense. If you have a brick and mortar location, I definitely recommend picking something that's more like a picture of your business, so when people are looking to find you, they'll have that nice picture to use as a gauge. So here's another important step that people forget. On the top right hand corner of that gear wheel is your settings, and then you can go to page info. People have to be able to find you, right? So you want to go in here and make sure you have your category filled out. You have your photos in here, your website, a brief description, a phone number, an address, all the other basic important business info you may need for your customers. All right, so we have a page and we want to start advertising, but we want to know how to do it. Well, that's pretty easy. Let's scroll down our page here. You see there's sections where we would have reviews if that was possible at this point, which you will eventually. You can invite more friends, which I highly recommend. And then, of course, you can also look at other pages like agencies or brokerages to compare what you're doing to them. So first, let's create a post. Let's do a pretty easy post here. You don't want your message to be long and drawn out. You want it to be very clear and concise. Simple. We're going to do a post that we're hoping our friends will share, and we're going to give more likes. Obviously, getting likes helps build your traffic. It's an important part of your Facebook page. So let's make a post here. Maybe we'll use a picture. And just so you know, videos are 5 times more successful than photos. But for the sake of this video here today, make it short and sweet, we're just going to use a photo. I'm going to use this Emmitt Smith photo that we had a little while ago. And maybe we'll mention something to that photo like, hey, be a legend like Emmitt Smith if you hire us, or something like that. Another really great thing about Facebook is it will let you publish this now, or you could schedule it for later. Maybe you're busy this week and don't have a lot of time later in the week to do multiple posts. You can schedule them out for later. And I recommend doing 1 or 2 posts a week. You can do one every day, but I've learned through experience that really doesn't make a huge difference like everyone thinks it does. Some people will get overwhelmed and actually stop following you, which you really don't want. So we're waiting for our post to clear here. While we do, let's take a look at something else on our main page. You can scroll down here and there's a section where it says create username right underneath of your business name. This is important because if you don't create a username, people can't tag you in their posts. Maybe someone just recently bought a home from you, or they had a great customer experience and they want to tag you in their Facebook post or their new home photo. Well, you're going to need a username. I use something that's as close to the business name as possible. That way, even if people don't know exactly what your username is, they have a pretty good guess. For me, it makes sense to do Michael C. Real Estate and then click Create Username to go ahead and save that. A little bit of loading here, and Facebook will let you know that you're all set. If it puts an X next to the name, you'll have to try to choose another one. Maybe put AK at the end or something like that if you're in Alaska. Advertising incorporates many things as well. Don't forget to go ahead and complete your entire profile on your business page. A lot of people forget about this. Click the add button and maybe you have a book now or a call now or message now system so that people can get a hold of you more easily. Make sure you update your hours, your phone number, your bio, your profile, anything you can possibly find in this app. Put some information in there. For now, I'm going to go ahead and change this button to send message. I do have the Facebook Messenger app, so it'll just come right to that. You log into these different apps, they all work together, it's no big deal. Underneath the reviews, you can even fill in services. Maybe you have multiple services that your business provides. You can put those here so people can easily identify what you provide. All right, it looks like our post is ready. Remember to choose a successful post. You don't have to do the very first one. That's the one we're going to boost here though. This gives you an ad preview first, showing the image and the text it's going to contain in your ad. As you scroll down, you see a $5 credit you can use, which is free, and 2 goals. For now, we're going to do get more engagement because we want likes and we want to build the popularity of our brand. If you wanted to get more messages, you can definitely do that as well, but for now, I'm just going to stick with that. Down a little lower, we can move on to button. This is optional. You don't have to have a button, but you can have them send a message or go to a website. Now down here is a special ad category, and since you're in housing, you do have to worry about this. They just changed some rules recently in Facebook in 2019, and you can't target special age demographics or certain college education or financial demographics. So they've really limited that, made it kind of easy. We just click this button here for special ad placement, then we click housing, and it already sets the parameters and limits what we can do here as we advertise in Facebook. Next in advertising is our audience. This is where you actually select the target people that you want to put your ads in front of. This is really a great way to make sure you're maximizing your dollars. Versus putting Alaska as a whole, which is very broad and very large, I like to target certain areas. I'm in the southeast area, so I would do Wasilla, maybe Palmer, maybe Anchorage as well, and hit those specific areas because they will overlap as well. But hitting all of Alaska, the only time I would do something like that is if I really got into the interests and behaviors and the targeted audience became much, much smaller. At that point, it's a good idea to maybe target a larger audience, and we'll cover that more here soon. But for now, we're just going to put Wasilla, Palmer, and Anchorage. Now that we have our location set, we can move into characteristics. And this is a really great area where you can look and find people that have certain interests or behaviors that apply to your industry. For real estate, let's start somewhere simple here. Let's just browse instead of trying to think and come up with something creative or random. As you hit browse, you can really just kind of search and look. Here's an apartment guide, here's apartments, here's apartment list. Maybe as we scroll down a little further, we see some other ones here that make sense. Building material or building. This looks good. As we hit these are people who have indicated to Facebook, yes, I am interested in these things. Or they could just be in their search history recently. They are people who have recently searched these things. Now be careful with this. It sounds great, but you can get too specific and you get to a point where you're not advertising to enough people and Facebook won't even let you move forward. So as you do this, you'll see a little gauge and you get to play with it, and it'll give you numbers to show you exactly how many people you're reaching. And the more you play with this, the more creative and more awesome it can become for you. Let's try erasing these and just punching our own in here. Let's just punch in real estate. As I do that, it actually gives you some options here, populates some other ones. I'll click that, and then down below you see some other ones. I can just click house hunting or any of these other recommendations below as well. So that helps too. And here's our little graph I told you about. Look, perfect, right in the middle, about 100,000 people. Next for budget, this budget sets the total budget of the ad. So if you put $5 here, it's only going to run $5 over 5 days. If we do $50 or $100, that's how much it'll run over the days set below. I recommend doing $50 to $100 per campaign, or at least $5 a day. You can see underneath here as well, as we go down, we can change the number of days, and just below that you see the price per day as well. Important to look at. Remember, we want to spend like $5 a day. Finally, you can also change it just with this bar here, and then it's going to ask for your credit card information. And then if you want to use your Business Suite app, you just go to that, go to your page, and click Promote. It'll ask you for a goal again, very similar, whether we want to reach more people in our area, promote our page, whatever. For this one, we're going to do promote our page. And then look, very similar, right? Here's our preview. As we scroll down, you can see past the preview into the special ad category that we would click. We would change our audience here, and then we would change our daily budget to reflect how much we want to spend over a given time. Now that you have that, we can move on to the Business Suite app. If we open that, we can see it's a lot like the other Facebook app. You can even boost this post from here. However, on the bottom bar, we have different options. The next option is Page Insights. This lets us know which posts were successful and how many posts reached how many people. So at the top right hand corner, you can customize the date range to take a look at the last week or the last 28 days. The top 3 bars show you reach, engagements, and likes. Then all of your posts are featured so you can compare them. And that's really great because then you can look at successful posts versus non-successful posts and try to mimic the ones that were more successful. And then there's some great information on the bottom here as well, and then just some overall very quick insights for you to take a glance and see how your page is doing. Next, you can see we have a section where you can look at your messages or even connect to Instagram. So if you make posts on Facebook, they automatically go to Instagram. We don't have any notifications or activities, so we'll skip to Tools, the last one. The only real important thing here now is Settings. Make sure you check all your settings, update your page info, and add page roles for people who are going to be a part of your page. And finally, at the bottom bar, let's look at Analytics. Let's take a look at my Michael C. Marketing page so you can see some actual analytics and what it looks like. You can see the date range at the top, my Facebook page reach, followed by the Instagram reach. Then if we did some advertising, it would give you analytics on that as well, how many impressions you have, how much you've spent, or other items like that. It's going to do it for your crash course in Facebook marketing today. Again, I went with the very basic, straightforward things. There are more advanced tricks, so try to remember these things here. The 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, you want to do posts that are relevant to the community, to people, things that have value. And 20% of the time, do your typical sales posts. Weekly posts are fine. You don't need to do every day. If anything, you're going to scare people away. And then finally, if there wasn't anything we covered here, you can always go to facebookblueprint.com. Thanks again for spending time with me today. I am Michael C. with Michael C. Marketing. And if you ever have more questions, you can find me at michaelcmarketing.com. Have a great week.